Hello and welcome to this quick look at the administration for visual groups. Managing staff to deal with inbound calls quickly is a complicated task to manage successfully. With so many variables, it's easy to understand why many companies just have all the phones ringing in a group for incoming calls. Now this, of course, is a mistake. Studies have proven that this is the most inefficient way of dealing with inbound calls, if you want them answered quickly and by the right people, that is. Some of the videos in this series have covered the wallboards, the agent's use. So in this video, I'm going to concentrate on the supervisor's or manager's role. It's not going to be possible to show every feature in a short video, so I'll concentrate on three main areas: setting up a group, setting up a wallboard, and setting up scheduled reports, just to show you how easy everything is. So let's jump down to the desktop and take you through it. So the administration of visual groups is all done within a simple browser interface. And when you first open up that browser, you're prompted to enter your username and password for a system administrator. And press enter. And after a short pause, and you're presented with the administration home screen. So from the home page, I can see the number of licensed users. This is the number of users that are available on the system to be call center agents, the current version, and the license type. So let's go straight in and create our first queue. And this is how simple it is. I click add. We give the queue a name. So we'll call this sales. A language for the queue. So we want this in English. Now the wrap-up time is the amount of time at the end of the call the agents have to close any information that's on the screen or enter a call outcome. So we'll select, let's say, 30 seconds wrap-up time. When a call is delivered to an agent, how long are you going to ring that agent before you decide that they're not at their desk and send the call to another agent? Let's put that down to 8 seconds. If I'm at my desk, I should be able to answer the call within 8 seconds. The music on hold. The sound source that's going to be used while the caller is waiting to be answered. Now, this can be one of the built-in music on hold sources, or of course, you can use your own marketing message. Any WAV file can be loaded into the system. The type of distribution within this queue, well, there are several types. We have agent most idle, which is a very common use. Or I can use skills-based routing. We can define different skills for the agents and then assign the skills to a queue and go through that way. I'm just going to go for a simple agent most idle. Now I can put some parameters in if I need them for dealing with calls that exceed certain parameters. So if someone's been waiting in the queue for more than 5 minutes, I can send the caller somewhere. I can send the caller to a voicemail, or I can send the caller to an overflow group. I can do whatever I want. If there are no users logged into the queue, what am I going to do? Now, we'll have already decided for the call to come into this queue, the system will be open for business. So there should be no circumstance when there are no users logged onto the queue. However, what happens if you've had a power cut? What happens if someone's dug up the road outside and you've got no connectivity to the outside world? The Swyx system will still be live. It's either hosted in a data center or it's connected into your on-premise system with a battery backup on the server. So the system will still be live, but your agents will not be available. So what are we going to do in that situation? Well, I could send the call to someone's mobile phone. I could send the call to an external call center. I could send it to one of our other offices. I can just put a number in there. And finally, what happens if I've got too many people in the queue? So for example, if I've got 10 people waiting in the queue and the average call time is 10 minutes, then all calls should be answered within 10 minutes. But what happens if I've got 20 people in the queue? Then they could be waiting 20 minutes to be answered. If I've got 30 people in the queue, they could be waiting half an hour to be answered. So I can set a limit here that says if I have more than 15 people waiting in the queue, send them to a voicemail, send them to a ringback facility. Say, look, we're inundated with calls. The control is down to you. Last agent routing is a very powerful feature. This allows a returning call to the queue. If they return within a preset period, they'll automatically connect to the agent they were speaking to. This is ideal for companies where most of their callers are ringing from mobile phones, for example, because if you get cut off with your mobile phone, you will, of course, immediately call back. So I can set this on and say if anyone rings back within 60 seconds, they will automatically connect to the agent they were speaking to before they got cut off. It's a very powerful feature. Do I want to announce the position in the queue? Yes or no? This is entirely your choice. The recommendation, of course, is if you have very large queues with 100 or 200 people in, telling someone that they are number 100 in the queue, even though you've got 200 people to answer the phone, may not be a good idea. But if I've only got 4 or 5 people in the queue, doctor surgeries, something like that, then announcing the position and the caller being able to hear their progress down the queue, well, that's a big advantage. Automatically remove agents from call distribution on missed calls. This again is a very powerful feature. If an agent walks away from their desk, they should log themselves off or put them in a wrap state, an away status, or a do not disturb status, so the system doesn't try and deliver them a call. The system won't know they're not at their desk. It doesn't have cameras. So if someone does inadvertently leave their desk, they will be presented with a call. And as can be seen from the first parameter up here, after 8 seconds, it will go to the next agent in line to answer the call, but it will log that agent out of the queue so they will no longer receive inbound calls from the group. Obviously, the call center supervisor, as can be seen in one of the previous videos, has control over this, and they'll see that someone's being logged off, and they can take control and log the agent back in if they forget to. Offer a callback in the queue. Again, another very powerful feature. If someone's waiting in the queue and doesn't have time to wait, you can, by switching this on, offer them a callback feature. So while they're waiting in the queue, they will be told, by pressing a certain key, we will call them back. And then finally, I move my agents across. So I'll put those people in, move them across, and that's the queue created. Now, do I want to create a calendar for the queue? Yes. And now you can see I can put my open and closing hours in. And do I want to put call outcomes in which case I select yes. And then from a predefined list, which we'll have configured elsewhere in the system, I can add these outcomes to the call. So now the agent, when they complete a call, this will pop up in the skin. Again, this was demonstrated in one of the previous videos. And the agent will be able to tick the outcome and you can run reports on that. And then I save the queue. We have an error here. It says there is already a queue called sales. So I can just save this. Change the name to Swyx Sales UK. If I need to modify the queue, of course, I can just tick in here and go to edit, and I'm back to that screen. For the wallboards, creating wallboards is the simplest thing I've ever seen. I click add. Let's create a wallboard for that sales group, Sales UK. Give it a display name. And the type of wallboard, we'll make this a summary wallboard in English, and we'll put it in dark mode, and we'll refresh the wallboard every 3 seconds. Now I can set the traffic light system for the wallboard for the various tiles. So calls waiting. If I set that to 5 calls in the queue, you can see that the system will automatically create the traffic light. So if there are less than 3, the calls waiting symbol will be green. If there are 3 or more, it goes amber. And when there are 5 or more calls waiting, it's gone red. And likewise for users busy, this is marked as a percentage. So if I go for 80% of calls there, agents logged in, let's go for 4. Average wait time, let's go for 2 minutes. Service level. The service level is the ratio of lost calls, missed calls to answered calls. And we should be running our service level about 98 or 99%. And missed calls is the physical number of missed calls. So let's go for 5 missed calls. And which queue is going to be displayed in this wallboard? Well, the one we just created. And click Save. And that's it. It's created. And to check the wallboard, here is a link. You can issue this link to anyone on the network, or you can set it up for a large screen. But if I want to see what the wallboard looks like, I can just click. I'm going to open this in a new tab. There is the wallboard we've just created, and to show how dynamic it is, if we go into that sales wallboard and edit it, and would turn it into a light mode 1, click Save, and the wallboard is now a light one. Very quick, very easy, and you can build as many of these wallboards as required. And the final thing I'm going to show you is reporting. Scheduled reporting on the system is, again, very intuitive and very easy to set up. I just go to the reports and I add the reports. So we'll call this our weekly sales report. We'll have it in English. We'll do it weekly, and we'll log from 8 in the morning to 6 in the evening. I put an email address. Do I want someone else copied into it? Do I want the user information in the report? And what queues are we going to report on? We'll report on all of them. And we just click Save. Once the reports have been designed, they will be sent out on schedule to the appropriate recipients. But it is also possible to trigger a report manually at any time. So you go to the Request Report. You choose the type of report you want, you select which time frame and hit the request button. The reports will be then emailed to the appropriate recipients as PDFs, and you will get something that looks like this. So here is the daily report with totals for each of the users and the call categories. There is also an example of the weekly reports broken down by group and summaries. These reports can further be enhanced with the Orenz product. This is just a very short overview of some of the features available through the system administration. Now we're going to be doing more videos on Swyx and its features. But for now, thank you for watching, and goodbye.